barbell hip thrust, a fantastic glute builder and just builder for the entire posterior chain. Everyone probably should be using hip thrust in some variation, and this one is quite popular. And I will go over the correct form for this exercise, and I'll go over some ways to use this exercise, different methods of progression and different strength systems to get some huge gains with this. But I want you guys to really think about, first of all, do you really need this exercise? Okay, now it is great for building lower body, but when it comes to building posterior chain and the glutes and the hamstrings, there are other exercises that can also build that don't require you coming out with quite an awful lot of setup, right? So I've got a bench at the back here. I need to find a bench that's quite stable to take you, and then you have to hunt. You know, you can normally load this quite heavy, but that means you're running around the gym trying to find enough plates, only to end up awkwardly humping in the air in the middle of the gym. So great exercise, but you could even just use a machine. Most gyms now have a machine for hip thrusts. The good news is a lot of gyms now also have a special pad to help you set up. So that's great, because it definitely makes it easier to set this exercise up. But there are, of course, I'm downplaying this exercise saying it's hard to build up. It's an absolutely fantastic exercise, right? And there are people that I would definitely choose this exercise for. So here is the base of the form, right? So first of all, you want the tip of the shoulder blade to be nice and snug on that bench, and you ideally would like to find a bench that is about that right height for you. Okay, you're going to roll that bar in nice and tight, take your feet up onto the floor. Now when I come up, before I go into the rep, what I want to do is get a bit of brace in my abs, okay? So I want to breathe into my belly, and then fill up the belly there, and then I want to tighten around that, right? Imagine Mike Tyson's about to punch me in the gut. I'm going to tighten up around that breath, right? So I take my feet under, I take that deep breath in, and I should feel the bar getting really tight into my body here, okay? And this is the benefit of the pad, is that it does soften when that bar sits on the hip. You can do this without the pad, but it gets quite uncomfortable quite fast. So you're going to try and breathe into the belly, hold that breath tight, grab onto the bar, snap the bar, and now I want you to just lift the hips up slightly, and this is where the rep starts. Keep the chin tucked, lift up, and in this position here, what I'm looking for is a 90-degree angle at the knees, okay? And then I come back down, and I don't like to let my hips fully rest. I just let them hover the slightest bit before I come up for the next rep. And I come down. And as I come down and keep that spine neutral, what I don't want to see, and I have seen people do this, is they overly round the spine, especially the more flexible people. You want to keep that spine neutral. You want the movement coming from the hips and the hips. And then really squeeze the bum at the top also. And if you get it right, you feel a big squeeze in the bum, you feel like a big burn in the hamstrings too. Okay? So, when you put it all together, it should look something like this for a few reps. And then I can breathe out, and inhale down. Just like that. So when it comes to some different methods we can use with this exercise, and a lot of these methods do work with the machine version as well. Number one is just for building strength. Okay? And I like to use what I call a 5-7-5 progression, which means that on week 1 of a training program, I'll do 5 reps with a heavy weight. Now, we can load this exercise quite heavy, and we can build a lot of strength quite heavy. So don't be generous with the weight, load it up, as long as you're confident with your brace and your lower back, and then form 5 reps, okay? And the idea is the next week then, with that same weight, see if you can perform 6 reps. If you can perform 6 reps for every single set, next week perform 7. And if you can perform 7 reps for every single set, then on the next week what I do is go back to 5 reps, but we take the weight up. Okay? And then we repeat the process. Next week, more reps. If we can't reach it, we just stay and do the same reps the next week. If we can reach it, then we increase the reps the next week. And then once we hit that 7, we go back to 5. 5, 6, 7, back to 5, 6, 7. Always gradually increasing the weight. Okay? So we're using a progression here that's a combination of increasing reps and increasing weight on the bar. So that's a good one for building, especially strength in the lower body. And you know, these days a lot of people are missing a lot of that posterior chain strength, especially if you do a lot of sports. So that's good for building strength, but it will also build a lot of what we call fast twitch muscle fiber. But then this whole posterior chain, a lot of it is to do with enduring and holding us upright for longer periods of time over the course of a day. So we want a lot of those muscles to be good at enduring and lasting a long period of time. Or in other words, we want to work on slow twitch muscle fibers. So to do that, what we're going to do is slower reps. Okay? So I'm going to demonstrate here. I'm going to roll that bar in. I'm going to take my deep breath. Fill up the abs. I'm going to hover slightly. And then I'm going to slowly come up for a count of 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. And I slowly come down for a count of 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. Then lift up. Nice and slow. And then I come back down. And I'm making sure I'm always breathing throughout the reps here. I'm exhaling as I lift up. And I'm inhaling as I slow down. Right? So that's forcing those slower twitch muscle fibers to work. You're not just banging out the reps. You're getting a lot of the more enduring kind of work there. That's really going to help your posterior chain. If you have lower back issues, this is a good strengthener for that lower back, depending on the source of the lower back issues, of course. And then last but not least is a little pyramid set. This one's a good finisher for a workout, definitely a big burn in the glutes. This is a good one if you want to grow the glutes, and you'll definitely feel it the next day. So what you're going to do is find your setup. I'm going to plant my feet down, and you're only going to need one set of this, and you'll find out why. The first round might even seem a little easy. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to do 10 reps. At the top of the latch, we're going to hold it for 5 seconds. We're going to come down, we're going to take 2 nasal breaths, that's going to be our rest. Okay? Then we're going to repeat that with 8 reps. 5 second hold at the top, 2 breaths. 6, 5, 2, 4, 5, 2, 2, 5, 2. So when you put it together, I'll do the first 2 rounds here. I take that deep breath in, fill up my belly, brace the abs, I squeeze the glutes up, and I come down. And if at any point, you know, sometimes the bench is a bit slippy, you might need to adjust your shoulder blades, feel free to just do that. And let's say I've come up to my 10th rep. I'm now going to hold this for 5, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 1, 1,000, I come down. After my 10th rep, I take 2 nasal breaths. I reset my position and I reset my breath, breathe in, into the belly, I do 8 reps. And let's say I come to my 8th rep here, hold for 5, I come down, I 2 nasal breaths, 6 reps, come up, hold for 5, 2 breaths, 4 reps, hold for 5, 2 breaths, and then 2 reps, hold for 5, 2 breaths. And you can progress on that, taking the weight up each week, and you'll definitely feel a good burn then. So that's how you perform a barbell hip thrust. Another thing you might see people do in the gym a lot, this is just me rambling now, but a lot of people, when they're just doing their typical hypertrophy sets, when they're just trying to build muscle, what you'll see them do is they'll come to the barbell here. You see the ladies in the gym doing this all the time. They'll come in for their reps. What they'll do is they'll explode up, they'll hold at the top just for a moment, and then they'll come slow on the way down. That's another good one. If your goal is to build muscle, explode up, hold for a second, slow down. And you can do your typical hypertrophy sets, 8 to 12 reps, 3 sets there. So yeah, barbell hip thrust. You might not need them, but if you do, this is how you do them well.